We are on the way to Cruel 4. We have boxes loaded in the ship. We have a pretty mess in the cargo bay, and that's why we need to utilize the selling directly out of the ship, because it will take too much effort, too much time to unload all the boxes just to identify the boxes that we can sell here at Cruel 4. A lot of stuff changed, even from the PTU to the live version. They mixed up boxes, they mixed up box sizes, and also the amount of available boxes. So everything what we did with the PTU is basically for nothing. And it actually seemed like, I mean, we're kind of happy to see that a lot of more players start doing trading. But we have, of course, the issue now that all our routes that we had planned to doing the trading stuff, everybody else is doing. So we only find a low amount of boxes. And by now, since Thursday, I guess, Thursday was the release of 4.4.0. And since then, we haven't traded every day or tried to trade, but we did some, and there was no time where we actually could have max inventory to buy. And we are flying with joysticks. That makes stuff a little bit more difficult. This is not the first time we have a loaded ship, but this is the first time we made it to the station of destination.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah, we are watching Super Mac Brother on the other screen, and he does a deep dive in his ultimate solo player ship, the Drake Clipper. And he actually proved or verified that you can hang on posters now inside the ship. This is what we needed, be able to hang up pin up posters in a virtual spaceship. And of course, for space streamers, this would be the thing, right? To have your ship properly equipped to make it your home, basically. The only one problem is the player base, yeah, all these griefers. And we heard that there are a lot of griefers right now out there, especially in Nix. So what we have loaded here is a mixed bag of stuffs, and yeah, 2/3 probably filled up. I mean, everything on the grid, because we want to sell it from directly out of the ship. And we got the black paint on the ship just for variation. And you know, we usually use the white paint on the ships just to have a proper suit to the armor. And we do the same routine. We do store the ship from the ass up down below and not here in the hangar, just to be sure that we actually can store the ship properly. And of course, we show you how we do that, because a lot of people still believe that you need to store the ship in the hangar, and we simply just don't recommend. So here you can see over there is our ship, the number plate. We go here and say store. Bam, ship is gone. It says moving to, but it goes way faster, and you do not need to wait for animation, for blinking lights and whatnot. Ship is stored basically immediately. And you can be absolutely sure that the storing procedure actually worked perfectly. And even if you would have parked the ship not perfectly on the pad, as long as you can store from the airs up, the ship will be stored properly. And so Crew L4, we should be able to sell sunset berries. At least that was the thing that we could do in 4.3.2. And here we go and see what we can sell. Somebody did neon here. We have our Excel list where we note all the stuff that we can sell here, and we will have a note. That's why it will take a bit here. And we only care about the stuff that we actually bring, and we can say ETEM would be one thing, neon would be one thing, gold, no, if you will bring gold over here, that would be a bad deal for you. Slam, maybe, we do not know. Maze, and of course sunset berries. We are here because of the sunset berries. And when we check here the location, the ship. That is interesting. Why don't we see the sunset berries? No idea why not, but we do not really care. We just do the inventory here. So we are Crew L4. In the locker room, out of stock, sunset berries. We can sell for 40.449. Max inventory we do not know. The biggest box is 16. Maze. We also can sell at the locker. Out of stock. Is for 237,000 per SCU. The biggest box is 24. This is new that we can sell 24. Up until now we never encountered commodities that we eventually would trading. That will come with the 24 SCU box. Slam 16 SCU. Neon and ETEM. ETEM for 11,253. Biggest box 24. We assume that there will be contracts that will give you that box sizes. Neon also 24. So we have no sunset berries with us. We can sell Diagnos Root 30 SCUs in total. We sell Deacon L4 admin out of stock 22,329. 32 SCU is the biggest box. What else can we bring? medical bay, medical bay, programmed meds supply L4. Out of stock is for 3779. Biggest box also 32. What else could be of interest? Stims. For whatever reason somebody brings stims over here. Thermal foam. That was that is nothing new. That was here before, but we never found where we can bring where we can buy thermal foam, so we don't really care. Hephaestonite, that could be interesting. Is for Hef. Now we don't have out of stock, we have very low, and the price is 2.832 on very low. Biggest box is 32. So we know we can buy Hephaestonate at Bueno Ravine. We also could bring construction cement for out of stock price is 8505. Biggest box also 32. Alright, so we sell Dagnus root. Yeah, usually we don't do that this way, because when you sell directly out of the ship, your ship will be blocked for a while. And usually we do sell directly out of the ship once we are at the last station. And this is our first station. So we need to kill some time over here. So we want to have a check if we can buy something. These are the commodity terminals. They had been bugged for since ever. See? We cannot select the box size. And that's why it is still bugged. No idea why they don't care about that. The price would be a bad deal for anybody who buys that here. Looks super ugly. Buy now. Yeah. We know CIG or RSI for that matter do better marketing than this store right here. Looking for trouble? Dust Up Armor has your back. Okay. Burrito? Torpedo burrito. Just take some.
Okay.
Now looking for a storage terminal. Over here. Bring that into our backpack. Water. torpedo burrito. Now pit and boo should be at Seraphim still. Yeah, Crew L4 is a small station. Once you sold all the boxes, we retrieved the ship as well from the ASUS down below, not from the hangar. And then we wait until we see the number plate, and then we click the elevator. It's not really the number plate, it's the name of the ship. Because they might do the animation of hangar up and down and whatnot, but as soon as you see the ship names, the ship is retrieved properly. So just wait until you see either the ship name or the number plate, like we just did. And then you have 99% chance of not having your ship glitched through the hangar floor. And here we can see what boxes had been removed from the minions down there in the warehouse.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay. You are clear to launch.
That's what we have thought. We need to refuel.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Nice, no crash so far. Yeah, it's really interesting. We are still watching more or less Super Mac Brother still talking about the solo player, ultimate solo player ship, the Clipper. It's a 45-min video. He really goes into deep that. He does really that role-playing stuff. And the dream of being a nomad, basically, like a camper, a space camper.
Bottom drive is now off.
Yeah, just jumping to the O marker. Around Crusader, it's always some sort of a risk. Because griefers, pirates and whatnot. And when you show up with an Asgard that has a potential of cargo loading, and that is something what we have, we maybe should have gone to Herson first in order to get rid of the fresh food and then only have Pit and Boo. But now it worked perfectly fine.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Shields online.
Station turrets, our enemies.
Landing complete.
It was a bit rough.
Engines offline.
Yeah, so have a check. Sidelines, all good. Front line, tight. Same again, store the ship from the ass up.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle. Your vehicle has been replaced. Visit us again. Bye.
Ship is gone. Whoa. Someone is buying everything? We never had seen this inventory stuff. Maybe a lot of hull C's. Scrap would be the money thing here. Yeah, but this is the typical stuff. So we want to list out of stock Sarah. We sell. What do we sell? We sell Amioshi Plaque for 11,039. Biggest box 32. That is also interesting. Why do we see the box size before we selected our source? We still can sell Pit and Boo. We document the Pit and Boo first, so we can use the waiting time with documenting here. 2201, biggest box 32, and we sell 46 SCUs. That gives us a 1 mil profit. Great. Aphorite we do not need to document here. Astantine, maybe too low in profit. Golden Medmon. Golden Medmon is interesting to us. Golem. Out of stock price 22,604. Biggest box 32. Heatherite. All this mining stuff we don't care. Channelite. Yeah, interesting. Channelite has here a big better price. Omnapoxy. Omnapoxy is 2.772. So when the selling price is 2.772, the profit itself will be not that big. So we do not classify Omnipox as something as a primary. Yeah. And when we see now here Pit and Boo is very high inventory, so we gonna expect something like 50 SCU in total. We cannot bring that much over here. Down we have Prota for 24,840. Also 32 bucks. Ranta for 35.034. Stims, yeah, here we have better price for Stims than on Cruel 4. Stims, Sarah, out of stock 2.946. It's not much. 100k something. Human food boss too low. Steel, Baradome, Fameline, Glycoside, Carbon. Yeah, the rest is not interesting here. Look at that, they can show our ship here properly this time. Alright, so then bring fresh food to Hurston. Here again, we retrieve the ship from the ass up. Wait until we see the number plate, and then we press the button. Yeah, sometimes we do not know if we should go for white paints or the black paints, because both kind of look sexier. Simple and easy, but sexy. Now only fresh food left.
Avant Aerospace. All systems online.
You are clear to launch.
Offline. Avant Aerospace. All systems online. Takeoff complete. Landing gear raised. Shields offline.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Oh look, Hurston. No.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum fuel is at 75%.
Yeah, the new fresh food dilemma could be the bigger box sizes. Now we have, compared to the PTU, 16 SCUs available, and in PTU it was only 2 SCUs. And we want to find out if we have even the capacity of delivering 16 SCUs.
Quantum drive is now off. Shields online. Landing gear deployed.
An upside down Cutley Black. We're gonna check the terminal first before we unload. We see a Starlands over there. Could mean that we cannot deliver fresh food. Baxilite, we can buy Baxilite. At Hadley, Hadley for max inventory has the price of 5,500 something. Max inventory 516, which is an odd number. Biggest box 8. What can we sell? We can sell a lot. Out of stock. So Audi, out of stock price 19,204, biggest box 16. Fresh food looks good. Food, out of stock price 22, that is even perfect. So we abort here We have 16 SCUs. We bring 16 SCUs. We hurry. So 216 SCU boxes is 32 SCU. Back in the day, we could deliver 180 SCU for a batch cell. Yeah, Hadley or Stanhope usually has the best price. Sometimes Pinewood as well. And there is a fourth one, Titus. Titus has the least chance of having the best price for fresh food. And here we deliver 16 SUs, 32 SUs. That gives us 700. Low inventory. So we would say 180 is still the number we can deliver. And the rest is minables, so we do not need to do documentation. Audio and fresh food. Okay, so we delivered all the boxes. We will continue doing inventory. We will find all the 4 locations of fresh food, and then we also do the comport stuff just to have an inventory, an idea of what we can buy and sell here on Hurston. We found on Hurston Moons Laranite, but haven't figured out. Oh, well, we could, yeah, we found locations where we can buy Laranite, but what we need to find out is where to sell. And we already know Orison would be a place. Maybe we should go to Orison just to rent all the MISC days. And that is probably MISC ships, yeah. That is probably the reason why Seraphim has that weird inventory status, because a lot of people tried the Hull C stuff.
Aerospace. All systems online. Landing gear raised.
So we have here the quantum bug again. We just took off. Yeah, we still invisible range. We would say less than 5 kilometers. And no, we cannot jump to the other place. At least not to all. Obstructed. That is interesting. Yeah, we do not need to go outside of atmosphere. Pinewood.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Yeah, this is nice touch for landing. This is awesome.
Shields online. Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Yeah, that was a smooth landing.
Engines offline.
Loot gobbling. Backlight as well. Pinewood. Out of stock. No, max inventory would be, but it's not. It's high inventory. High inventory is 6.281. We assume it will be 516 as well. And the biggest box we can buy 8. Yes. So that is 700 more expensive with high inventory here at Pinewood compared to Hadley. Here we also would have had out of stock. That is interesting. Fresh food and the rest we don't care. Nobody does the fresh food. Why? And why don't we have fresh food available at Shepherd's Rest? Where do they bring the fresh food? Do they stay in Pyro? Okay, we assume that there will be a slight price difference on the other two fresh food location, and we want to find out what about the compound locations. So that would be Opera, Edmund. Yeah, I haven't done that for a while. UEX corp.space. No, they have the human verification back on. What do we have? Comp board. NVIC. Outpost commodities. Yeah, a lot of people do compots nowadays. Nice to see. SMO locations give the best price, 19 point something. According to UEX. So if we would go to NVIC and we would deliver to Perlman, Opera, Norgard, Anderson, Edmund, we have way more location where we can deliver compot to. Back in the day it was only 3, respectively 4 locations here in Stanton. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new location where Perlman on Hurston is the one that gives us the best price according to UEX. And Perlman is not on Hurston, it's on Magda.
Takeoff complete. Shields offline. Landing gear raised. Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now on.
Yeah, we hear music here.
Quantum drive is now on.
So we need to be careful. This is a moon.
Shields online. Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Yeah, that was a rough landing.
Engines offline.
Perlman, did we ever had been here? Wow. We can buy gold here. Buy gold. The only thing. Pearlman. Max inventory is 5585. This seems to be some sort of a default price. 500 SEUs. 5 biggest box 16. This is interesting. We can buy 16 SEU boxes. Stims. Same price like on Seraphim. It looks like this is a default price. Sell Stim. Pearlman. Out of stock. 2946. 24 SU box. Scrap. Compots here. Somebody's delivering compots here. Or is that something new? They implemented the new, because it was 18.050 the best price. So seeing this one, we assume we wouldn't even make profit. Pearlman medium. Because they can pretend as if somebody would deliver, but doesn't mean that actually somebody did. Now we go to Anderson. Yeah, Anderson, you need to be careful because it's elevated. It's not 0, it is something like 2 kilometers elevated.
Shields online. Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Empty. So this is interesting. Here at Anderson we can buy gold. Anderson. Now medium. And the price is 5.294. We assume we could buy here for 5.16 as well. Biggest box is 16, so this changed. A lot of big boxes, less tractor beaming work. And gold, it is even a cheaper price, even though it has bad. We buy RATHON here. To SUS. See that one. This is the actual price of comports. Sell comports. Anderson. At least this didn't change here. So we actually assume Perlman, for example, is just some default data that doesn't show anything that is true. Audio. At Anderson, out of stock, has a price of 19,204, 16 bucks. Yeah, that's it. Interesting. like a zombie. Free boxes. Should be 2,000 each when we're gonna sell the box without content.
Engines online. Takeoff complete. Shields offline. Landing gear raised.
Should we go to Envik?
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now on. Shields offline. Quantum drive is now off. Quantum drive is now on.
Yeah, that's for now. Thanks for watching. See you next